If anybody gave me like a free ticket to go anywhere in the world, I'd probably choose Adoration Chapter. My journey begins when, I guess, through my conversion. I knew what adoration was, but I didn't know exactly what happens in adoration. But when I started going, I think that's when my journey started moving forward very quickly. It was maybe around one of those times where I would be going to adoration pretty consistently. And I just remember like the feeling of when you're going into adoration, and then like right when you go in, that there's like a complete difference of how, like, what's in the atmosphere. It was funny because at the time there was another prayer group praying like down the hall, and I thought, this is funny because why are you guys praying over there? Jesus is over here. And it was something that I thought, well, at the time, but I guess it was the awareness that God was there in adoration. For me, the experience of adoration isn't just only there, it's also what you receive and what you take out. And I remember just like looking at the world like there's a fog, on the whole world, and that just happens to be God. And he's that present as if on a foggy day, instead of the fog, it's God. I like to save the rosary for when I'm not in adoration, but if I'm ever in adoration, I believe that when you're before the Blessed Sacrament, you're in heaven, it's whether that be correct theologically or not, but it's like you're before God, and in heaven we're before God, and like everything else just kind of ceases to be. And it's like, being there, you don't really need to say anything. Sometimes I just go and I just sit down knowing that He is God. Through those times that might have involved a lot of confusion, I typically felt like adoration was a pretty safe place to be. That it didn't matter what might be coming my way, or what questions I could have been questioning. At that time, I felt like it's a good place to just go and be safe. To go into adoration, basically, it's like, for me, I feel it's leaving the world. That's where you don't have to say anything to pray. Your prayer is you just before God. It's not that you're leaving the world, because obviously God came to the world. I feel like a lot of the times it's Him calling me. The times when I do visit Him, I feel like it's obviously out of love, but it's out of His love first. And then my response is to visit Him. I feel that if there was any other reason, it would probably be me maybe coming to a plateau where I realize that might not be enough, and that I might need to be doing more things. But then I would realize once I get there that it's got to be out of love. I would say, if you have doubts about Jesus in the tabernacle, just visit Him for like 2 minutes, and guaranteed you're not going to leave empty-handed. If anybody gave me like a free ticket to go anywhere in the world, I'd probably choose Adoration Chapel. The only place I felt like I was safe, I could, have any kind of consolation, was in adoration. If I didn't have adoration to go to, I don't know. I think back to my life, and I really like if I were to consider that correctly, the only thing that comes to my mind is I'd probably be dead. And I mean that. I'm like being sincere. I think that the Lord saved me a lot of times from an early grave.